Hello traders, today is Saturday, December 21st, 2024. Let's start the video with Apple. And you all know this is not financial advice. Make sure to make your own decisions when you invest. That being said, look at this chart right here. We are, well over all-time highs, well over this point of resistance right here. I guess we can put maybe a key level right here, just in case. See what happens. But I'm just very, very impressed with the strength of this stock that continues to move up in such a strong manner. I think is due for a little bit of a cool off, but I'm not sure if it's gonna come anytime soon. I wouldn't be surprised that after the rebound that we got yesterday from the market, we might get a continuation of this rally towards as we go into the year 2025. If we go to the 5-minute compared to the rest of the magnificent 7, I'm sorry, this thing continued going up and higher even after hours. Now, what is also interesting is that you have other names like Microsoft, for example, that had a strong sell-off right on resistance. Then you had Meta, which I'm going to mention later on, also went down very strong. And some other names, but Apple was pretty strong. Let's take a look at Amazon and Google really quick, which Apple is the strongest right now as far as what I saw on Friday. Let's fix this. And we'll see what type of continuation we have. For now, we have to see if we are continue to get into price discovery. And, I want to wait for a pullback in order to start day trading this again. One of my the ways I've been looking into or facing trading in the last 2 weeks have been, or actually 4 weeks, I would say. I've been day trading more than swing trading, and the reason for that is because I just want to be very mindful of my capital, and I want to make sure that I'm not risking more than what I should. So I'm taking profits every single time I can, and it has worked out very nice for me. And I also am facing the market on a day-by-day basis. I'm a little bit skeptical of this type of run, and I don't know exactly when we are actually gonna get a little bit of a correction, which, at least from my way of how I see my swing trades, would be an absolute gift for us. Okay, Apple, super, super strong. Let's move on to another name that I think is going to give us a surprise next year, but it might be a little bit too soon, to think that there is a reversal coming. I could be wrong. And well, let's talk about AMD. And this chart doesn't look too good. Let's take a look at how much. I think I mentioned this move to the downside last time, but almost 30 or 33%, give or take. This is a pretty crazy move. What I was posting on X is that I think we're gonna probably get towards 111, and I'm sure, don't quote me on this, I said the same on my last video, which was on Thursday. I couldn't make a video yesterday because I got home too late. But anyways, I think we still have momentum to continue going down. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. You rally towards resistance, got rejected right on it, almost to the cent. This level is off by what? It doesn't matter, but by 10 cents. That's incredible. Anyways, we came to this level right here. We got rejected, and on the 5, you got a little rebound on the 200 SMA. I'm not having too much of a hope right now. I do have call options, but it's a very small position of call options on AMD, and I want to start building up on this position. These are June calls, and we'll see how they move. Let me see if they are 140 or 135. I wouldn't be surprised if they are 135. Yeah, no, 135. Yeah, so I was also being conservative on my view of this. A lot of people are buying 145. I think that's a little bit too rich for, at least for now. Even 135, when I'm looking at the chart, I'm like, oh my god, this is a little bit. Um, I feel like pushing it, but these are July or June 20th calls, and I also got July 18th calls for NVIDIA. But anyways, let's keep an eye on this. I think once this either hits resistance or support right here at 110 or 111, we might see a move to the upside. Now, keep in mind, I said the same thing when we were going towards 121. And when I said if we break 121, it's going to be bad in the sense, and you're just going to continue going down into a lower side, a lower area. I really don't have much to the downside unless you hit 95. That would be bad. That would be bad. But let's keep an, you know, let's focus our attention on 111. We don't even know if we're going to hit this level, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you really don't have a lot of volume all the way towards until 95 actually, so it's below 100. But it looks like this is already pretty extended. Well, not really. It actually has more room to continue going down on the MACD and the TSI. So the TSI is a little bit extended to the downside, but I think it still has more room. The MACD definitely has more room to continue going down. And, maybe we get towards 111 or 112. And that would be actually maybe a good position to get in. Just keep in mind how this stock then to rebound once it gets momentum to the upside. It actually runs very nicely. I mean, you can see this, and then you came down, and then you came back up. You have this really nice move here. I believe that we might get by February, we're going to have more clarity on this, but I'm not adding to my position until I see a better move to the upside. So that's what I have for AMD. Let's move on to a next name I mentioned before, and I like how it's behaving, and that is ASTS. And the reason why I mentioned this is because how it's behaving on this range right here between 20, what is it, 21 or 20, 20, yeah, 21, 27, 21, and 27.88. Let's say 21 and 28. It's been in this range, we can argue, maybe since the beginning of September. Now we're in December, and it's really holding the support level. Now, keep in mind, if you break the support level, please pay attention to this. You are just going to rally towards 13 or 14. Best case scenario, you're going to rally towards the 200 SMA, which is going to be somewhere around where this candle is, which makes sense. Actually, I'm going to put some level right here just for reference. It's a little bit higher. Okay, so we can actually go down towards 17 if you break support. This is a very, very strong level of support. Now, if we start moving towards 27.8 or 28, I think this is going to rally. The situation with this stock is that catalysts, whether if they are good or bad, are going to really, really move this one way or another, which is the risk that we are facing here. One thing that I really like a lot is the fact that we're still under the zero line on the TSI, the MACD, we're neutral on the RSI, and we're basically neutral on these three indicators if you actually pay attention to them. We are under the 35 SMA, which is fine in this case. I think it is critical to maintain 21.7 or this level right here at 21, if you want to call it, and see how we behave every time we touch it, and see if we can back up. For now, I'm just keeping it on my list. The only thing that might be a bummer is if you get a positive, because I want to trade it to the upside, if you get a positive catalyst, then this thing is just going to leave you behind very quickly. So you really have to pay close attention to this name and see how it plays out. Let's move on to Bitcoin. And last time I mentioned Bitcoin was on the 19th, I believe, which was 2 days ago. I was looking at this candle right here. And what I said on this video, please go back to that video, and there's timestamps on the videos. I said that, we really have to hold this level of support at 91 or 92. And if we break, then we're going straight towards, even we could actually go straight towards 77. That is still in play, in my opinion. But one of the things that happened, basically exactly to the amount of, to the level that I was saying, is look how close this level is to what I was, or the price action is to the level that I was arguing. My level was 91.915, and we went down to 92.188. So that's how close. That's why I like to trade with levels, because they really, really help you out to give you some understanding of price action. Anyways, we came down all the way down to 92, and then we came back up. Let's take a look at the 5 minute and see if that 15. Let's take a look at the 15. So yeah, you had this sell-off, you came very close to the level, and then you actually, buyers came back in. Now we have to battle this level of resistance at 99, or 100, which is a psychological level. This candle doesn't look terrible. I mean, Bitcoin trades 24/7, 365. So we'll see how we move. We're right on the 35 SMA. I wouldn't be surprised if we come down towards 92 again, and then, we really have to pay attention to this key level of support. And the reason why I'm saying that is because AMD and the TSI are already telling you that they're still weak, and there is still momentum towards lower levels. And then we might see some sort of kind of reaction as we get closer towards the zero line. One thing that I like is, and these indicators are cooling down very, very quickly. That is a good thing. But on the other hand, what I kind of don't like too much is that the TSI is getting divergence between the signal line and the TSI line. That is bearish. Anyways, we'll see how this is going to react. We'll see how we move from now into Monday. Next week, I think it's going to be a little bit slow, but I wouldn't be surprised if next week is bullish. Don't take my word for that, because I know as much as you do as far as what is going to be the reaction of next week. What I can tell you is, and the volume of trading is going to be lower. People like myself, like I'm gonna, after this video, I have to run to the airport, and then I'm not gonna trade until, let me take a look at my calendar. I'm not gonna trade until I don't know when. I can put up my calendar, but probably until right after Christmas or right before New Year's Eve. And again, that week is also gonna be a low volume week. So I wouldn't be surprised if things move slow, which is also good, in my opinion. Is also good, because then volatility fades away a little bit, and the market gets to breathe a little bit. We'll see how we behave on this support level. 92 is critical. Keep that in mind. And 100, obviously, if we break 100, we're going to start moving into this area of lower resistance. One area that is worrisome for me is this from 77 to 86. You have low liquidity here, and that could actually be a magnet to the downside. But let's not worry about it until we, unless we see 92 being broken to the downside. Now let's check another name that I think is shaping up into something interesting. Unfortunately, there is going to be low liquidity or low volume next week for obvious reasons. Christmas, and it's a 4-day or 3.5 day trading days, I believe. Anyways, let's talk about GEV, and let me take a note. Look at this, and I've been talking about this. I mentioned this as well as I did with ASTS, because I like stocks that range and break range to the upside, especially. So I mentioned this on the 11th, and that's all I can see. So my first call on this was on this candle right here, this green candle. What I was saying is what you see on the chart right here. The chart is not lying. And maybe this level makes more sense if we put it on this candle. It does. Okay, because it actually plays with the level or with the volume profile here. So what I was saying on the 11th, I'm pretty sure, please go back to that video, is that, you know, if you break to the upside on resistance, you rally, or if you go down, you really have to pay attention to support. If you break support to the downside, don't touch it, leave it alone, focus into something else, period. Well, it went down on Wednesday, as pretty much most of stocks. It went down on Wednesday by 3.4%, but support was strong enough. And I was really keeping an eye on this name on Wednesday, because I was like, well, if on Wednesday and Thursday, if this actually breaks, it's not going to be too good. Anyways, this support held. Then on Thursday, was it Thursday? Yeah, you had a very, very nice 5% day, and the following day you had another 3%, 2.96%. This is fantastic. You're over the 35 SMA, but I am not, I am not actually touching this, even though it's looking more very bullish. Look at the MACD and the TSI; they're curling into their signal lines, very close to the zero line, which is good. RSI is also looking to the upside, crossing the signal line as well. This is very positive. I think if for some reason there's momentum for GEV on Monday, we're going to break this and it's going to move. You might actually come, retest, and move to the upside into price discovery again. This is just looking good. Another thing that I want you to keep in mind, and I'm gonna mention support again. You break support, you have no liquidity to the downside. You have to stay away from it. That's it. So it is critical. I would only trade this to the upside if it breaks resistance with momentum. Then I would jump on it. It will give you maybe a couple of days of green candles, who knows? And then the way I would trade it, I would take a couple of days of a swing and then I'm out. But if it goes to the downside, I wouldn't buy puts or anything. I wouldn't know what kind of reaction we might get. It is pretty obvious that being the fact that you have low liquidity here, it's just going to continue going down. But one of the things that I want to make sure is to trade less, or to actually get less trades to the downside. I feel like I'm way more profitable when I trade to the upside. The setups make more sense to the upside. GEV, really keep it in mind. I strongly suggest that. Let's talk about our friends at HIMS. And this stock is it's looking quite interesting. So on Thursday, you were up. Well, let's talk about Wednesday first. You went down 8.26%. You broke support at 29.73. The next day, we hit my price target. Actually, we went well below it. There was a price gap right here, so it got filled. We went under 25.5. Then we claimed that level again. And then on this candle, we stayed basically on a neutral area, where what the candle is indicating here, let me zoom in a little bit more, is that buyers took control towards at one point of the trading session, and they did. You came, and then you had a little bit of a cool off. Oh, no, wait. I'm talking about the wrong candle. You came back, and then there was a little of a sell-off, and then they came back again. Now, on the following day, on Friday, you also had another neutral candle, which is fine. In this case, you were basically flat. Let's take a look at the 5-minute, which was just there. Buyers came in, you hit that 325 SMA. And sometimes I'm very, very surprised on how precise a 325 SMA is on the 5-minute chart. But I'm not talking about it right now. But you hit it once, you hit it twice, you continue going down. You went down again towards 25.5, and then you're coming back. Now, look how this, I don't know if you remember, but a few days back, trading days back, this volume profile right here was much smaller than what you're seeing now. One of the things that I'm really liking is that you're building up liquidity on this area, which is gonna possibly help is the volatility that that sometimes we have been getting in these areas, because the most moves that we got from HIMS were very dramatic to the downside and to the upside, and now I think that things are getting a little bit more into a normal territory per se. Keep an eye on 25.5. If we break, we're probably gonna go straight towards 23, or there's a good possibility because you broke here and you came back up. So these are your levels that are important right now. My range right now is 23.5 to 29.7. I really want to get into this name, but I want to wait a little bit more. The reason why is because the MACD and the TSI are telling me a different story than what I'm seeing on the candles. The candles look weak. They are neutral candles. These are doji candles that are neutral. And you can see it if you go back to the 5-minute. Even though this looks choppy, it's pretty much flat. You can see it from this area right here, exactly where the red line is, where the price closed after hours on Friday. So I just want to wait how we are going to behave on this area. I think if this rallies next week, I'll feel like, the train left without me, which is fine. I mean, I trade a lot of stocks, so setups come around all the time, or good setups come around all the time. But I just want to see how we are going to behave on the MACD and the TSI. Now, if this starts taking shape slowly to the upside, that's actually a good thing, because you'll probably start going to curl into the zero line and then coming back up. But the divergence that I see between the TSI line and the signal line is telling me that we're probably going to continue pushing a little bit hard to the downside. There is selling pressure, but we'll see how buyers behave. It seems like buyers also come to the rescue on HIMS, and that means that there is a lot of people averaging down or just getting into positions into lower areas, which is what a lot of us want to do. I just want to get maybe September calls or October calls for next year, but I just want to get them cheaper, But again, if this rallies on Monday or next week, and I don't know if I'm going to trade next week because I'm going to be traveling, well, we'll see how this happens. But keep an eye on 25.5, and my range is 23.67 and 29.7. Those levels are absolutely critical. 25.5 is the most important right now. Now let's move on to, I mentioned, this is because it's interesting how things work. But let's talk about Lucid. And as I mentioned last time, I mentioned Lucid. This is so far a shit company, as far as I can tell. I see their cars here and there. The other day, I actually saw a dealership. I was driving back home, and there was a Lucid dealership. But guess what? There were no cars in it, so I don't know if it was open or not. But last time I mentioned Lucid was on the 17th. I mentioned Lucid also on the 16th. Now, here I'm, talking, not very, I'm not really giving you a very nice talk about Lucid as far as what the company is. But the reason why I mentioned Lucid on the 16th, which was on this candle right here, that was on Monday, on the beginning of last week, was because when I see these kind of formations, which are round bottoms, I gave you that on HIMS, on SHAC, on some other names. Sometimes when you break really hard. Well, what happened on Friday, you went up almost 15%. Now, I have no idea what the catalyst is. I don't know if there is some good news or something, or they open a new factory or whatever, which would be great. I have no idea. I really don't follow Lucid, but I like to look at good setups on charts. And this happened. And the formation or this thesis really worked out the way I thought it was going to. Now this actually came in a better fashion than what I thought, because what I was saying either on the 16th or the 17th, go back to those videos, wasn't, you might find a little bit of resistance as you did here right as you hit the 200 SMA. Now on this candle on Friday, you just went through it like nothing, and buyers didn't come in or sellers didn't come in after hour or after towards the end of the day at all. Look at this. It was a nice move to the upside. This green is the gap that you're starting to feel. The feel is kind of, the gap is feeling a little bit. So now we can make it tiny. So look how much you actually got into it. You did close over $3. Man, this is so unfortunate. Like, so many people lost money on the SPAC rallies that we had 3-4 years ago. The MACD and the TSI are looking good. The RSI is gonna get into overbought territory pretty soon. Now don't be surprised and then sellers come back in, or people take profits, and then this is gonna tank again. But I guess I'm just mentioning this again on this video because of this formation of a round bottom, which in some cases also is a predecessor of a cap and handle. But when it breaks, it really breaks. Whether if it's on a cap and handle or if it's on a round bottom, they just move very nicely. Again, I show you something like this, very similar on Lucid. I think SQ has had a similar, I think. Shaq for sure, and that actually ripped very nice. Now you have Lucid with a 14% day. So this formation, is it works. A lot of the time. Sometimes it can get rejected. You get rejected on at resistance, and then you come down, and then maybe you form another shape right here. Let's go to now that I'm saying that. Look what I pay attention to this. This is another round bottom that turns into a kind of like a cap and handle, but it happens, and you have this nice move. I also told you that this was gonna come down as well on AFGO. Well, that's what I have for, let's go back just for good measure. That's what I have for Lucid. Is breaking, is on the 200 SMA. I don't know what is going to happen now. You have low liquidity here. There's low liquidity all the way up for Lucid, which I give you that. But again, it's a car manufacturer, and I don't know if the market is too happy with how they have been performing. Now, if you know what happened, what kind of catalyst came out, please let me know, because I have no idea, to be honest. I'm just looking at the chart, and this is not a company that I follow very often. But I just like the setup that we had here. Now let's move on to. I created this. So I put the max 7 on a different section. Let's move on to Meta. Look at this thing. Right on this area. Why do I have this? I want to see. Oh, because of this candle, these two candles, and this break right here. We went under this level of support, which is basically 600. We went down, or we are under the 35 SMA, which is also a good thing. I'm going to tell you why it's a good thing. It's because I'm selfish. We are looking bearish on these three indicators: MACD, TSI, RSI. That being said, I think that we're probably going to hit 575 next week. We'll see. It was very weak on Friday. Like, everybody was rallying, but towards the end of the day, this actually had a massive sell-off. I'm not sure why. Could it be because we were getting news that how you call it, the budget bill or whatever that was, the CR bill wasn't being approved, but then it got approved. I don't know. I'm trying to stay away from political news because it's such a mess. It's such a circus. But at least what I see on the chart, 175 might be coming. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we actually get a rebound on this trend line and boom, going back towards 600. I want to wait. Long term, I think that Meta is just going to continue going towards 700. Please, I would save what I'm saying right now. I think that Meta is going to 700. There's going to be opportunity, but I just want to grab it cheap. I want to see if we go to 575 or if we're going to retest this area and then go back. It's looking a little bearish right now, especially based on these three indicators. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little or a rally towards, into 2025. I wouldn't be surprised. I love the fact that we got all these red candles. I love the fact that now we are, this endless move to the upside, basically from August 5th to the upside, kind of like it's taking a nice break, a very pronounced break. And if we get to 575, I might actually start buying, July or August calls one by one. Because they are not cheap, but I would buy them one by one. And the reason why is because I want to see what is the behavior on this support level. And if we break it, well, then I can find them a little bit cheaper. I think the worst case scenario that we're going to see on Meta, which would be fantastic if you actually want to get into it, would be 550 or 545. That would be like the worst case scenario. But on the other hand, it's the best case scenario because then you can get those contracts or those shares at a much cheaper level and then hold until this moves to the upside. If we get to 345 per se, which I see it a little bit unlikely, but it could happen. You're going to be very close to the 200 SMA. You're going to be on this very strong support level. And, I would probably buy either September or October calls and then maybe sit on them. We'll see. But I really like what I'm seeing here. If I want to buy to the upside, let's keep an eye on 375 for now. If you break 375, 550 could be coming, but let's cross that bridge if we get there. Another name that I like is NVDA, and a very impressive day for NVIDIA on Friday. Now, I did have this head and shoulder formation here, which is still in play in my opinion, but let's just get over it or get rid of it. A lot of people were saying that's not a head and shoulder on X, but the reality is that once you were breaking this line right here, you actually went down all the way to under 130. Now, on Friday, you broke resistance at 130 and then moved very strongly throughout the whole day and even after hours. Let's go to a 5. You moved very, very nicely. I wanted to add to my position somewhere around here, but I had this thing in my head that, I really thought that this was going to cool off and go back towards I thought we were probably going to close, my estimation was, and we were going to close at a 1.5 to 1% range. I was very wrong. This actually closed at 3%, which is good for me because I still have my call options. They are July options. But we'll see how we react on resistance. Now, again, if we get a little rally or a continuation of a rally into New Year's, I think I'm gonna be in a very good place. The stock itself is in a very good place. The whole setup looks very nice. You are rebounding on support at 130, which is also psychological level, just because of the number. MACD and TSI are looking good. A couple of days back, trading days back, this wasn't looking good at all. It looks like it was going to continue going straight down. So my price target was, or my possible price target was 125, 24.5. We got close enough to 126, but now we're having this momentum. The entire sector was pretty decently strong. AMD was strong on Friday as well, for example, but actually lost momentum towards the end of the day. We'll see how we behave. RSI is also pointing up and about to cross a signal line. That's also good. And what you're also seeing in the histogram is that there's weakness to the downside. Weakness here as well on the TSI, which is good. And you have more volume coming in. You're coming into an area that has a little more resistance as far as liquidity. But I think if we break 135 which is another psychological level. A lot of people are talking about 135, 136, whatever. We have to see how we are going to behave in this area right under the next resistance level, which is 141. I think this is going to play out. I think we're going to move to the upside soon. Seems like the move is starting to happen, but we'll see. I want to take it day by day. I think if we go down, let's say, for worst case scenario for all of us towards 125, I'll buy more options. I wish I did buy more in the beginning of the day on Friday, but I didn't. But this is looking promising for now. It's looking promising. Let's move on to Tesla. And look at this level of support right here. Let's go to the 5-minute and see how it looks. Boom. Right on it. Twice. Twice. This one was under, but right on. Wow, that's nuts. Right on the money. Look at this. You guys, you really have to put levels on your charts. I really, if I can tell you something, put levels on your charts. Now, what level is this? I'll take you back. This is prior all-time highs from who knows when. From 2021, from November of 2021. So pretty much 3 years later, you're hitting it again right on the spot. You did it here, now you're doing it again. When you broke here, you rallied to the upside. I think Tesla is looking extended. I would love to see Tesla going down towards 364 again. That would be fantastic. I would buy more at 364. I would love to see Tesla going towards 330. Hate me as much as you want. And the reason is, again, I'm going to say it, is because I'm selfish. I want to buy more. And I want to buy calls. I think this stock is going to rally. I already did, but I think it's going to move again. I would be absolutely surprised if we fill any of these gaps. So let's not even talk about it, because at this point it sounds like nonsense. But I think that we have to keep a close eye at this 421 level. And then if it breaks, let's hope. Sorry about this, but let's hope if it breaks to the downside, we're probably going to meet 365 pretty quickly. The reason why is because you have low liquidity here. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to go towards 330, but 365 is on the table. Now, if we are retesting, which is also possible, let's take a look at the 5-minute again. Look at this chart. This doesn't look good. Beautiful for day trading, though, especially to the upside. I think if we break 425, we're 420, 21, bada bing, bada boom, we're going down towards 365. Easy. So, yeah, just keep an eye on 421 as support level. And then my range would be right now, basically, I have to add another line. Let's recycle one of these. I don't need this one because it's too low, and I really, unless there is a financial catastrophe, I don't see Tesla going that low. Okay, there we go. So my range right now is prior all-time highs from 3 trading days ago at 488, incredible, and 364. That's my range. We'll see if we are retesting right now at 421. That could be interesting as well. But I'm a little bit bearish in the sense that the MACD and the TSI are not looking too good. They're looking like they really want to push. I mean, you just have to see it. They really want to push to the downside. And, the RSI is already on its way to 50. Next week, if we don't get a rally next week, I think this is going to continue going down. And we might get a Christmas gift to get more. I want to get calls in this case rather than shares. I think it's too rich for now. for shares, but it makes sense to buy calls. Anyways, that's all I have. I'm not gonna make videos next week. I'm gonna be on vacation unless I figure something out with my laptop. But I might be posting stuff on X if I have time. Anyways, Merry Christmas, everybody. I'll see you after Christmas, possibly, or if I'll try to do something if possible. But Merry Christmas. Enjoy your family. Take some time from trading. Sometimes that's good. And wish you all the best. Good luck next week. It's going to be a low volume week, in my opinion. And subscribe and like the videos. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.